What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and in the last Dynasty video, we went through our entire Season 5 off-season, went through all the recruiting, position changes, all that good stuff, and we brought in a really good recruiting class. I think it was 5th in the country, and now we're officially heading into Season 6. We're going to go through all of our preseason shenanigans. We're going to look at some more recruiting, scheduling, depth chart, all that good stuff. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to start off at preseason options. We're going to go to custom schedules. Now, I have already made the schedule. We're going to look at it. I hinted at it several days ago that I was really going to beef up the schedule as much as I could. And I wanted to schedule a bunch of top 10 teams, and that's what I did for the most part. First game of the season, Tennessee is coming to the Islands. That's going to be fun. We've already played them. It was like maybe 2 seasons ago. We went to Knoxville, but now we're going to have them come here. Week 3 at Texas Tech, 5th in the country. That's going to be a very pass-happy game. And I do not think I've been to Texas any during this dynasty. If I have, it's not a big deal. We'll go to Lubbock, Texas. And then we got a bunch of conference games. And then we go to the back end of our schedule. And you notice here that I wanted to schedule a top 10 team, but I've tried, and the game will not give me hardly any options to work with. I have tried everything. I've went up here, scheduled Notre Dame, put them in that spot, put them in this spot, or Houston or Temple. I put somebody here, anything that I could to try to open up the schedule a bit, but nothing budged. Every time I've done an adjustment, it still ended up with these 4 teams. So I went with the best one, and we're going to have Notre Dame. We're going to go to South Bend in week 12. But we're going to end the season with number 1 Iowa coming here. So that is a B-plus schedule. That is as strong as I can make it, while still keeping it entertaining, having a bit of a storyline. Of course, you know me. I'm a big Tennessee fan. Texas Tech should be a whole lot of fun with the top 2 passing attacks in the country year in, year out, more or less. And then Iowa at the end of the season is going to be a whole lot of fun. I think we played them a couple seasons ago, maybe 3 seasons. I do not remember, but I'm pretty positive we went to Iowa, so we're going to have them come here. And then we're going to have Notre Dame thrown in there as well. So that's a pretty strong schedule, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now let's go to Redshirt Players. This is a good chance for us to look at our new roster and redshirts and players along the way. We're going to start off with quarterback. Of course, we are not going to redshirt Troy Petty, so we're going to leave the quarterbacks as is. You go to halfbacks. Now, we got an interesting situation. Larson is our top halfback. He's going to do his normal thing, mainly from the shotgun. Then we got Adam Hawkins, the true freshman. And right behind him is a redshirt sophomore, Sean McCargo. Hawkins has got a lot of speed, but he has no strength, so my original plan was to have him do a lot of our under center stuff, go between the tackles and whatnot. But his break tackle, we could check this. This is the first time I've seen this. His break tackle is an 80, so it's like one of the worst of the bunch, but that's not terrible. 80 is still a decent number. But McCargo and Jones fit the profile a little bit better of going up the gut a little bit more. That's still not a big deal. I can have him play, or I can redshirt him and just let McCargo do his thing under center. But this guy, I think, is just a little too talented for me not to do something with him. And we can have McCargo as our third guy, like Cox we had last season. So with that 92 speed, unfortunately, he can't catch to save his life. So honestly, he doesn't really fit what we've done the last couple of seasons, but I can make it work. With that speed, we can do more outside stuff from under center or what have you. So that's going to be the plan. I am not going to redshirt Hawkins. He could be more or less our under center back, and then McCargo could back him up in a couple spots as well. So I'm not going to redshirt him. We don't have to do anything at fullback. Wide receiver, Grant Glover, of course, they're going to start. Fritz is going to be my Z receiver. He's going to be the new Rackley. He's going to be the guy on the right side. Now, I have an interesting development. I got several guys that all are pretty much the same type of player, mainly in terms of overall. And I completely forgot about this kid right here, Will Hodges, 6'8", 240. What I'm going to do is I need to decide who's going to be my more or less my X receiver. Who's going to be our new John Davis? I need somebody who's got amazing hands. Somebody who can really catch the ball. So among these guys, besides, these four right here is going to be my X receiver. And you go over here to catch, and what do you see? Look at Henderson, true freshman, 6'3", 199, 88 catch, which is incredible for a true freshman. So he is going to be my X receiver. So I am not going to redshirt him. And I always like to have 6 guys should be enough at wide receiver. We run a ton of 4 wide, but having 6 active guys should be enough. So you have 3, then you got these 6 guys, and then these other 3 freshmen, I can go ahead and redshirt them. Okay, so just a quick recap. We'll do the depth chart here in a little bit. But Grant is still going to be in his spot. Glover the same way. Fritz will be on the far right, and Henderson will be on the far left, and we'll have some backups behind him. Okay? Tight end. Let me make sure I've done that correctly. Yes, I've done those redshirted. Tight end. Pretty simple. I'm going to redshirt these 2 freshmen. We won't need them. Let me go over here. There we go. Because we got 2 guys that are older than they are, and that's just a good trend or good setup for us. That's why I recruit them the way we did. That way we can redshirt them and get them ready for next season. Tackle. Starting right tackle is going to be Lumpkin. Left tackle, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Spencer. One's 88 and one's 86, but we can go over here to throw or to run and block. If I can get to it. Pass block and run block. Spencer has much better ratings than Harris, especially at pass block. So Spencer's going to be our starter, but I always want to keep 4 active. So what I will probably do, these 2 guys look pretty similar to each other. They're both freshmen. I'm going to go ahead and just redshirt Benson. That way Johnson can back up Lumpkin. You go to guard. Same difference. It's a very similar situation. I'm going to just redshirt this freshman. That gives us 4 active guards. Center, we got nobody to redshirt. Defensive end, the same thing. Defensive tackle, I like to have 4 active at all times. And we got a junior, a sophomore. We're definitely not going to redshirt Brent Miller. We can go ahead and... It doesn't really... I mean, I'll go ahead and redshirt the sophomore. How about that? Outside linebacker, I want to keep 4 active. Oh, it doesn't really matter at this point. So let's just go ahead and redshirt Joseph. Let's go ahead and redshirt Clint Hall. It doesn't really matter. Let's just go ahead and, we'll just redshirt Clint Hall. There's a very good chance he may be a defensive end next season. But that gives me 4 active outside linebackers. Middle linebacker, I'm going to go ahead and redshirt Manjero. We're going to try to survive with just 2 guys. We should have no problem with that because I'll never put 4 guys out there or 2 of them at the same time. I don't run 4-4 anymore. I just stick to my 4-3 when it comes to like going up against bigger sets. So we're going to do fine with that. Now, if one of them gets seriously injured, then I'll have no choice but to take the red shirt off of Manjero. Corner. Very simple situation here. We got 1 freshman. I always like to keep 4 active. So that is a good setup right there. Free safety. We got 2 guys that we can redshirt. Neither one we will need this season. So that's a very good setup here. Strong safety. I need to redshirt one of them. Both of them are literally the exact same guy. John Cooper and Michael Ralph. One's a little taller. But you look at the ratings, it is the exact same player. All the way across the board, which I find absolutely hilarious. That happens later on in some of the later games. You'll see, like, it's more or less laziness from EA Sports when you see a bunch of that stuff, like, from, like, 09 and going forward. So I'm going to redshirt one of them. It doesn't really matter which one. Let's just go ahead and redshirt Cooper. Kicker, we are redshirting Tony Smith, the true freshman, because even though he's better than Gray, Jackson is back, and he is going to be our kicker and our starting punter. So we have a really good setup there. That's why I got this kid, is so we can redshirt him and get him ready for next season, because he'll definitely be our starting kicker. And if we can't find a punter, he may end up being our starting punter as well. We will worry about that heading into next offseason. So that is it for redshirting. They're going to take those guys out of the depth chart, and we're going to go straight to the depth chart. And let's go here, and let's set this up. Petty number 1, Fuller and Bush. I'm okay with this. We can check it. Throw power and accuracy. One's got better accuracy. The other one's got much better strength. Do we have another guy as well? We got a Jacobs is 76. So we'll just go ahead and I'll just leave it as is. I thought Fuller done just fine as a backup, so I'm okay with this. Halfback. Larson. We're going to put Hawkins. And then McCargo. And then Jones, is that who is up next? And then Nugent behind him. Of course, we can only go 4 deep. We're going to put Nugent in special teams here in a little bit. But I'm okay with this. We're going to go to fullback. We're fine there. We never use a fullback. Wide receiver, we need to put Henderson here. I want him to be my X receiver. I could do all this in formation subs, or I could just do it right here. It's much simpler. I don't have to do it by formation over and over again. Number 2 needs to be Fritz. Number 3 needs to be Glover. And my right slot is the big guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Grant, the general. Right there. A 4. And then from this point, it doesn't... We could put Hodges and Vincent. If somebody goes down, he'll step up. So I'm okay with putting Hodges right there and then Vincent. Okay? That looks weird, but everybody knows who's been keeping up with the Dynasty. It makes perfect sense why I'm doing this. Okay, tight end. Who's going to be our best blocker? It's probably going to stay the same. I think we have Fletcher. We need a run block. That's what I care about more than anything if I can get to it. There we go. Run block 68, 65. That is fine. Awareness. Yes, I'm okay with McCoy and then Fletcher. Of course, we're going to put Grant here. Let's just go ahead and do that. Just simpler to do that. And then we're going to put McCoy and then we're going to do Fletcher. That way we don't have to deal with sub packages, formation subs. It's already set up for us. Tackle, that looks correct. Again, I want Spencer as my starter because he has much better pass blocking rating. Left guard, let's put in the other left guard. Bowling behind Newsom. Center, my starting center is actually going to be Skinner because I have no proof, but I firmly believe that your awareness affects the amount of high snaps you will have from the shotgun. So I'm going to have Skinner at the top, and then we're going to have Gunn, and then we're going to have McCoy just to make sure there's no other center that I'm missing, and I'm okay with that. Right guard, let's just put in our other right guard right here. Of course, Kemp, he is our best offensive lineman. It's going to start there. Then right tackle, let's put our right tackle right there. So we got Lumpkin and Johnson. So that's a pretty good offensive line. 84, 84, 88. Really solid. Much improved from what we had a couple seasons ago. Defensive end, of course, I wanted Neal. There's really no difference between Neal and Scott, except one's a little bit bigger than the other one. Like 16 pounds or 14 pounds and heavier and like 6 inches taller. But both of them have the same speed. So I'm okay with having Neal and then Foster right there. And then Scott, we need to put Walker right there. And we may have a couple other ones. I could be dead wrong. We're going down to the bottom of the barrel for this. I feel like there should be another defensive end. It's White. We'll put White here, and we'll put White right there. Defensive tackle, 94, 87, 82, 76. That's pretty simple. I don't think we're missing anybody, are we? 82, 76. That should be it. So we are set up nicely there. Left outside linebacker, Price is our starter. We're going to put Joseph behind him. We're going middle linebacker, Johnson, and then Dale. Right outside linebacker, that looks correct. In terms of our third string guy, I'm okay with... We don't... yeah, that's fine. I don't think we'll ever have to go that deep. So we're good there. So LeFew is an impact guy. I'm not really paying attention to this. I need to see who else is our impact guy on offense. Corner, 93, 85, 78, and we should have another corner right here. And the free safety, that's fine. So nothing really changes on the cornerback front. I could have taken the red shirt off of that true freshman. We done just fine at corner with this setup last season, so I'm okay with the way it's set up now. Free safety, 97 and 80. That looks good. Strong safety, 91 and 76. That's the one guy that's behind him. That looks good. Kicker, 84, 74. And then you got our punter and our kicker. That looks correct. Kick return. Here's where things are going to get pretty cool. We are going to put little Glenn Nugent at number 1. Then we're going to put Glover at number 2. And then we'll put somebody else. We'll put Vincent. And I'm not worried about who the other, like, we could put Hawkins. That's fine. So Nugent, Glover, Vincent, and Hawkins. Because Glover's going to play a ton. He does need to do a whole lot, but I want my 2 fastest guys back there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go Nugent. We're going to go Glover. Let me go over here and make sure. We're going to go have Vincent. And then we got Hawkins. So I'm really excited about seeing little Glenn Nugent do some magic on special teams. Then we got kickoff starter. That looks, on kickoff, that looks good. We want Jackson there. Center, I don't mind putting my backup here to just give him some extra reps. Let's go here and update that. There we go. We can get another center. Like McCoy. I'm okay with all that. I could probably put McCoy on right there for Skinner. Just to give him some extra reps. But that's okay. And that is it for the depth chart. Let's go to rosters. And let's see. So Petty is now an impact guy. Let me just do the all. That'll make things easier. LeFew, Petty. Do we have any other impact guy? Looks like we do not. So we're only got 2 impact guys. We are waiting for somebody to get that third one. I don't know who it's going to be. It would be nice if it would be like Neal or one of our safeties. Defensive tackle. It wouldn't shock me if that happened. Just somebody else. But it's good to see our quarterback be an impact guy. And, of course, LeFew is doing his thing. So now let's look at our captains. We're going to go by awareness and by seniority. So I'm guessing Jeff Anderson is the captain, which is correct. And it looks like Kemp is the other captain, which I'm perfectly fine with. While we are here, program standards. We are really in good shape here. You can't ask for anything better. We're going to back out of here. And playbook, nothing's really going to change there. I have no really reason to do that. But I will go ahead and just talk briefly about some of the changes I'm making, to make things a little bit harder. We'll go to settings. And I do have home field advantage turned on. And you go to the AI. The one thing I did change was you go to the CPU offense. I put wide receiver catching up to 70. We'll see if they catch every single thing. They don't have one single drop all season. Then I may lower it back down. I'm going from 50 to 70 on that one. That's the only thing I've changed in terms of sliders. I've thought about changing the awareness to 50, but since I'm no longer going to user blitz or user rush, I'm going to be controlling a safety pretty much the entire time. I'm going to see how everybody else reacts to that. Well, I guess that has no effect on this right here because that's the other opposite side of the field. But in terms of this, we're going to see what happens. And if I feel like I want to increase that, I can. It's up to me if I feel like I want to do that or not. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at 50%. Because of the home field advantage, I think it's going to make things a little bit harder for us. So those are the only 2 big changes that I've made. I may have forgotten something. I'm going to hit no for now. And we'll just see what happens with those changes. Now let's go to Athlon Sports. Let's check out some things. Preseason polls. Look at there. We are number 3 in the country. I thought about scheduling Colorado, but I wanted, if you go back to our schedule, the reason why I done the way I did it is Tennessee's an SEC school. Texas Tech is Big 12. You go down here, Notre Dame's independent. Then you got a Big 10 team. I wanted to represent different other conferences. So I didn't want 2 Big 12 teams in there. Otherwise, I probably would have scheduled Colorado because we got a bit of a storyline with them taking some of our recruits in that first off season. But there we are, 3rd in the country. As you can tell, there's just a lot of good talented teams across the board. We can go to Heisman Watch. And there is Petty and Grant, 1 and 2. New Mexico State wide receiver Daryl Mitchell is on the list. Cool to see that. Looks like Texas Tech has a wide receiver. NC State, that's another team I wanted to schedule, but they're just not available. It was either them or Iowa, so I went with Iowa instead. But NC State's got a quarterback on there. First time they had an All-American preseason quarterback, I guess, since Phillip Rivers. Let's go to preseason All-Americans. Petty and Grant. We may have a couple others. Look at there. LeFew is on there. That makes sense. We'll go to second team. I don't know if we'll have anybody here. Yes, we do. Good to see Steve Murphy on their second team All-American. Now let's go to the conference. Petty Larson's a first teamer. Good to see that. And Grant. Then you got Hawaii. I'm an idiot. Then you got Kemp at guard. Then we have LeFew. And then we got a couple other guys. Murphy and Barry at free safety. Second team. Glover at wide receiver. Then we got Skinner at center, Neal at defensive end. Then we got Moss at corner. So we got a bunch of guys on the first and second team. And there's Jackson. Somehow he's the second team punter in the conference. That will probably change. The only reason why he's set up like that because we don't punt enough for him to get any stats. But everybody kind of knows he's the best punter in the country. Let's go to Conference Outlook. There we are at number 1. Then you got New Mexico State. That's a big jump for them. So Fresno State's usually number 2, but now it's New Mexico State. Then Fresno, Louisiana Tech, and Boise State, they just keep getting worse and worse over the course of the dynasty. But then Nevada, Idaho, and so on and so forth. One thing I want to check. Toughest places to play. This changes. I just never look at it. Like, it'd be cool if we was on this list, but we're not. We probably never will be. But I've never paid enough attention to this to see if we would ever get on there. I don't know how far down the list we were to begin with. Now, I think we are ready to go to recruiting. Now, I did not look super hard at our current roster to see what we need, but you look right here, we got, if nobody leaves early, that's not going to happen. There'll probably be a couple guys that will want to leave early. But if nothing happens, we got 59 guys coming back, which means we got 11 spots, and that is it. Which is a great situation to be in. It's pretty much the same situation we've been in the last 2 seasons. So I'm going to use the same method as I've done the last 2 seasons with in-season recruiting. We're going to load up all 12 scholarships, but then we're going to just go after 2 or 3 guys, and that may be it. That way we can focus the rest of the time in the off-season recruiting. But as you can see here, what are we looking for? What do we need? Well, we are pretty much loaded offensively, except I may go after a guard. We're going to look at the guards. We're also going to look at, I'm not going to go any natural defensive ends unless we just find somebody that just fits the part, but that's rare. I'd rather go get a couple of middle linebackers. We need some middle linebackers anyways, so I'm going to at least recruit some of those. The rest of that honestly looks fine. Corner, maybe. I don't know if I will. We'll just see about that. But I have a pretty good idea of which positions I'm going to go after. Okay, so we can look at our pipeline states. I'm pretty sure it is just California and Hawaii. And there we are. There's a handful of guys here. And let's just check to make sure nothing else has become a new pipeline. I don't think it would, but you never know. It doesn't hurt to check. And it looks like we still just have our 2 pipeline states. Okay, so let's go to Hawaii and see if there's anybody here worth looking at. 4-star defensive end, 4'6'5". He looks the part. The problem is, look at his squat, 570. Compared to some middle linebackers out here, like out of Georgia. Look at this middle linebacker crop, if they have any. Do they have any? They got one guy. Look at his squat, 670. He's just much stronger. He's just a much better fit to play defensive end, and he's much bigger. So that's, again, the reason why I move linebackers down the defensive end. So let's go back and look at all of these guys. So I'm not going to go after him. Here's a quarterback. Do I go after him? You know, we got 4 quarterbacks. We got 1 junior, but he'll be back next season unless he wants to transfer out, which I doubt that will happen. Like, I could take a chance on this kid just because he's local. Otherwise, I'm really not going to bother. Here's a center we don't really need. Outside linebacker, we're kind of okay. I like his speed, but here's a guard, 440, 605. So nothing really appeals to me right there at the moment. So let's go over to California before we do like a bunch of 5-star recruiting. Let's go to quarterback. There's nothing there. Halfback. Again, we got 4 guys, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomore. We're kind of okay here, so I'm not overly impressed with anything I need to get there. Fullback, receiver, we are loaded at wide receiver. We got 9 guys coming back. Tight end, we are good there. Tackle, here's a 4-star kid. We are kind of fine there. I really Should I go after him? I don't, I really don't need to. A guard, I kind of care about this. I wanted somebody who is super strong and super big. This guy fits the profile. Jerry Rollins, 6'5", 315. Look at his squat, 680. And he's really smart. Let's go after him. Center, no. Defensive end, this kid just, no. I like his size, but he's slow when he's not strong enough. Defensive tackle, you look at our situation, we have 5 guys coming back. 3 of them are juniors, so we're going to have a big senior class heading into next season. So I kind of need to start thinking about defensive tackles a little bit. This kid's a little undersized for my liking, so I'm going to wait before I take a chance on him. This kid's stronger. He's not as smart, but he's a little bit taller, not as heavy. We may just look at the defensive tackle pool in general here in a minute once we get through California. Middle linebacker, I kind of want to look at some guys here. I need future defensive ends because, as you can tell, we need some defensive ends. We're going to have a couple current guys probably move down next season. So I'm always looking for big guys who are smart. I mean, just freak athletes. And it looks like, let's find somebody super huge. Like, I really like this kid right here, John Coker, 6'4", 238. 585, though, so his strength isn't the best in the world compared to some of these other ones. Some of these other guys look like more natural middle linebackers. I'm not too worried about getting all my middle linebackers now. I can always get a couple in the off season. But I really want some smart guys, so let's go after, I like kind of both of these. Let's go after Harvey Miller and Tyrone Fuqua. That's a great name. I kind of want him off that name alone. So we'll do 2 right there for now. Let's go to cornerback. Unless I find the ideal corner, I'm not going to bother. And right now, I'm not really seeing it. I mean, this guy's super fast. He's smart enough, but kind of wish he was a little bit taller. We don't know if he can jump well or not. We are loaded at free safety and strong safety. We got 2 true freshmen, so we don't need another one. So now we're done with California. I saw the 3 that I kind of liked. So let's go to all, and let's go all states. I can go look at some other states, but they're not pipelines, so I'm not really worried at this point. So now we can really recruit nationally. We are fine at quarterback. What I need to look at is guard. Let's go straight to guard. And let's just see what we can find here. Look at this guy, 690 on the squat, A+. Only 275, though. I like to find more of a behemoth, a much heavier dude. 275. Like, this kid right here fits the profile. He's out of Florida, but I don't care at this point. Brett Lindsey, 6'2", 315, but 680 on the squat and A+. We can go after him. 6'6", 315, another 680. Like, this kid looks great. Stephen Brown, I'll go after him. We still got a bunch of more 4 stars. Let me just go back up here. 315, 315, 315, 325. Texas, New York. One's just a little bit smarter than the other. Let's go after the kid out of Texas. That's fine, and that's more than enough guards to look at. Okay, let's go to, like, for example, this defensive end right here looks more like it. He's out of Illinois. His squat is 620. But if we go over to the middle linebackers, 680, 680, 680. A lot of these guys are pretty heavy, or at least they can be. So we are fine at defensive end. We're going to look at the middle linebackers here in a bit. Defensive tackle. I kind of need to think about going after somebody here if they really fit what I'm looking for. I want big and smart. 297. Here's all these guys got a B awareness. Here's a couple A+ guys. 280, 280. Not big enough. Here's an A at 305. This kid looks the part. 6'3", 305. I'll go ahead and scout him or give him a scholarship, but then I'm okay with that. We're down to the 3 stars. We do not need to be recruiting any more 3 stars in season at least. Outside linebacker, we really don't need anybody here. We're kind of fine there. Middle linebacker. I wouldn't mind finding some behemoths, like some really big dudes. I saw one that was, here's 6'1", 6'0", 240. Texas and Florida. I'm looking for future defensive ends, and everybody looks kind of the same. Here's 6'2", Wisconsin, kid out of Virginia. They all kind of look the same for the most part. Here's a kid out of Tennessee, but he's really small. There's not a huge... let me just think here. Let's go... That's more like it. This kid right here looks like a defensive end that I wouldn't mind going after. 6'3", 240. These two guys right here, one's out of Kentucky. And I'm going to go after... We're already going after 4 middle linebackers. So that's good enough there. So we're down to 3 spots. Cornerback, let's find one that looks like absolutely perfect. I'm talking somebody 6'3", 170. This kid right here looks the part. Quentin Childers out of New York. I don't mind going after him. Let's go find another really tall, fast 6'1", 6'1". Here's a 6'2" with an A at Florida. He's from Florida, 6'1", 185. This is a kid out of California we looked at earlier. 6'5", 180. But he's got a C- awareness. A 6'1", 180. Kid out of Utah. 4'3", kind of looks the part. A bunch of 4'3", Here's 6 feet, 170. Now we're down to the 3. So let's go back up to the very top. Let me look at this 4'2", this kid right here, Booth out of California. I may just go after him. Think about who our best corner is. It's Steve Murphy, but he's like 5'11". So that's not the most pressing need. But it's just nice to have somebody that's tall. But at least that guy is fast and pretty smart. 4.24 A-. Awareness. Kid out of North Carolina, 4'2". Oh, 5'11", 172. 4.2 A-. I don't mind taking a chance on this kid just because he runs a 4.2. That would help. He's only 5'11", though. Let's just go back down to that guy that I really liked. Down here. Where's he at? Is it this guy right here out of Michigan, or is it Bishop? Oh, the kid out of Idaho. I hate to take a kid out of Idaho, but... Oh, it doesn't really... I thought there was another one I was missing. Oh, we're down to the 3 stars. Let me go back up. I already forgot the kid's name. Gatewood out of Utah. This is the one I was looking at. 6'1", 185, 4.33 A. I don't mind going after him. So now we're down to 1 scholarship left. We can go ahead and put this on an absolute stud of an athlete at one of the more popular positions, the more important ones, like quarterback or halfback. So I can go after another halfback or go after a quarterback that could be our starter probably in 2 seasons from now. I don't need a receiver, so let's go and look and see if we can find somebody like abnormal that looks just absolutely incredible. Georgia, Michigan. Do I really need another, like... we don't know if any of these guys can catch. That's why I'm kind of hesitant about going after any halfbacks. But we kind of need somebody. 4'48", 6'5", 215. I want somebody... We just don't know if any of them can catch, but we need another Larson. We need a little scat back. So somebody who's fast and we may luck out that can actually catch the ball pretty well to boot. Just don't know if any of them can do that. Like, I could take a chance on this Terrell Williams, but I just don't know if he can. So I'm going to go after a quarter. Man, what do you do here? I don't know what to do. Let's just do halfback, and let's go and we'll pick somebody who is really fast. There's a good chance that they may be able to catch as well. We'll just take a chance. A bunch of power guys. We got a couple of those already. More power, either power or balanced. I don't really care about the awareness of a halfback. I hate this is taking me as long as it is, but that's okay. Let's just go after this 5-star kid out of Maryland. That's fine. It don't matter. Okay. So now we are done with recruiting. Let's go ahead and simulate this week, and then we will check out our recruiting, our 12 guys, and we'll pick 2 or 3 guys to really go after and just kind of go from there. So once we do that, let's go into recruiting. And let's see what we're dealing with here. Let's go ahead and find anybody that's got a positive pitch. And I think I'll just go after 3 guys, and that may be it. So here's one, middle linebacker, Champ West. An amazing name. Awesome name. 4'5'2". He kind of fits what I'm looking for, and he's going to be like a defensive end down the road. We got to get him for the name alone. Plus, we got a positive pitch. Let's go put 33 on this guy. 33, and let's keep looking at these other ones. And there was no other positive pitch anywhere else. I didn't see a negative one either. So now it comes down to picking the other two guys to go after. Halfback, Anton Davis, C hands. He's really fast. He doesn't fit what we're looking for, so I'm not going to go after him. Brett Lindsey, the guard out of Florida. We're really down his list. Then we got a corner, Childress out of New York. I may go after him. He really fits what I like to do. I kind of like every bit of that. And I think we got a chance. I know he's halfway across, or all the way across the country. But let me put 10 on him for now. That just gives me a mental note that I can go back and look at him later. Stephen Brown, South Carolina guard, A+. We kind of need this guy. Let me put 10 on him for now, and then I can decide later what to do. Jerry Rollins, California. I can either go after this guy or this guy. I'd rather go after the kid out of California. I don't care where we're at on the interest level. That will change big time. They're both the same player. So let me go ahead and just do... We need a guard, for sure. So let's go and put 33 on him. And then let's decide who to put the other 34 points on. And we got a handful of options. We got more middle linebackers. I wouldn't mind getting another middle linebacker. Harvey Miller, 6'5", 6'6", 225, 4'6". He's really smart. We're not going to go after that guard. Tyrone Fuqua, 4'6", 6'5", 225. They're both like pretty much the same player. Like the exact across the board. So what I meant by, you notice we got two guys that look exactly the same in terms of their stats and whatnot. I misquoted myself. I misspoke. What it is when you start a brand new dynasty, like I think starting in NCAA 10, that's when they use the same names over and over again. So you start a brand new dynasty, you're going to see the same 5-star halfback named Adam Jones every single time you started the dynasty, which I always thought that was a bit lazy on EA Sports part. But yes, in 06, it has this all the time. You see repeat guys, just in terms of their stats at least. But at least they change up the names. So I will probably go after another middle linebacker. I'm just looking at this defensive tackle out of North Carolina. So let's pick one of these other middle linebackers. I think we should be good to go the rest of the way. Either that or go after this corner, one or the other. I would much prefer going after another middle linebacker because we need more help there than anything else. So either go after Fuqua out of California, Harvey Miller out of California, or I can go after this kid out of Kentucky. They all look kind of the same. Let's just go after one of these two corner. Let's just do 25 across the board. How about that? I don't mind. Let's just go after these four. We'll do 25, 25. We'll bring this guy down to 25. So let's just go after four. I'm perfectly not this guy. And that corner. Childress. He's the one I wanted to go after as well. No, never mind. I thought there was another guy I was going to go after. Maybe not. I'm so sorry. Let's go 34. Let's just go after these three. Yes, that's correct. Let's go 33 and then 33 here. It doesn't matter what we put the extra point on. So we're going to go after these three guys, and that'll probably be it for in-season recruiting. I'm not going to go after any more guys because we got enough spots. I mean, if I fill up a couple more guys in the regular season, then there'll be less spots to do in the off-season, and off-season is more fun recruiting, and there's usually better players in the off-season. So we're going to go after these three guys for the entire regular season, and that's it. 2 middle linebackers and this right guard. Okay, that is it. So come on back. In our next video, we will take on the mighty Tennessee Volunteers. They're coming up here to Honolulu. It should be a lot of fun. Run a pro-style offense, 4-3 defense, and along with me making a couple of changes with home field advantage and increasing wide receiver catching and me controlling a free safety, that should make things a little bit more challenging and hopefully a lot more fun. Okay, guys. I'll talk to you later.